my subjects. So, O King Henry VIII, I'm here for yesterday, June 11th, in the year 1509, Katherine of Aragon and I did wed. Catherine, born in 1485, Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand of Spain, she was originally betrothed to her brother Arthur. And not but 5 months into the marriage did he die of sweating sickness. Tragedy did strike, for the heir to the English throne was gone. And in the case of my father, Henry VII, dying, who would take over? So I, at the mere age of 17, did take the throne. And I did in fact marry of Catherine and make her my queen. On June 11th, we were married at Greyfriars Church, now part of St. Paul's Cathedral. And on June 24th of the same year, we were coronated together at Westminster Abbey. Catherine was 6 years older than me, and at first I was genuinely in love with her. She made an excellent queen, well beloved by people. Catherine became pregnant at least 6 times during our marriage, possibly as many as 9. But unfortunately, only one could survive past infancy, and that was Mary. Earlier, Catherine, I'm sure. But earlier in our marriage, we did have a son who would survive childbirth. Henry, Duke of Cornwall. But mere 40 days into life, he did perish. And we were not allowed to attend his funeral. But, sadly for Catherine, a king needs his heir, a male heir. For last time there was a queen, civil war did break. In the 1520s, I started questioning the validity of our marriage. I convinced myself, or rather, quoted, misguidingly, the Bible, as marrying my brother's widow was cursed by God. Thou shalt not marry thy brother's wife. Leviticus 20:21. A man shall take his brother's wife. It is an unclean thing, and they shall be childless. It was the verse, the curse of our marriage. Make it illegal in the eyes of God and the eyes of the church. We were not childless, but with no sons to speak of, it might as well have been. I petitioned Pope Clement for an annulment, but the Pope stalled. Partly because he was under control of Catherine's nephew, Emperor Charles V, the future father-in-law of our daughter Mary. And unfortunately, in 1533, I had to take matters into my own hands. And I did marry Anne Boleyn in secret, while still legally married to Catherine. I broke from the Catholic Church and declared myself supreme head of the Church of England. Archbishop Thomas Cranmer declared my marriage to Catherine null and void, and Anne the true queen. Unfortunately for me, she refused to accept that our marriage was null, for being the daughter of Queen Isabella, King Ferdinand, Princess of Spain. The devout Catholic that she was, should not accept of our annulment, and insisted she was my lawful wife until her death in the early months of 1536. But indeed, it was Catherine who had last laugh, for not just but mere months later, that Anne was of her life, my next wife, who did give me a son, Jane Seymour, and at an end from childbed fever. And son of that same son, Edward, I did die when he was 9, and he did rule till he was 15, when he died of an illness of which we are not sure. But in the end, Catherine had that last laugh. For in truth, I did declare, upon marrying Jane Seymour, that Mary and Elizabeth were illegitimate. But Mary, Catherine's daughter, my daughter, did become queen, regardless. For 5 years she ruled, and to her cousin Philip II of Spain, son of Charles V, who I did mention previously. But she did have no heirs. And so it was handed to my daughter Elizabeth. And when she died, the throne was to go to Lady Jane Grey, who had been beheaded by Mary years earlier. But Catherine died, regardless, Catherine died in 1536, still calling herself the Queen of England. She never stopped loving me, I say. In fact, she did knit of shirts for me until her death. Now I did wear of these fine linens, for why not? But unfortunately, she did die. I was married to Catherine for 23 years. And was politically savvy. She ruled as regent in 1513 and was off fighting in France. And during the Battle of Flodden, she did oversee the defeat of the Scottish king. She did send to me of his bloodied cloak after she was not allowed to send the corpse. She left behind a legacy, our daughter Mary, who, as I mentioned, did become queen after Edward's death. Catherine, my first wife, my youngest wife, and perhaps, in the eyes of God, my only wife. She's not remembered, but as I'm informed, she is not known as of grave importance as she was. And although I did annul of our marriage, although I did call her the Spanish cow, in truth, perhaps she was the best of all my wives. Who knows? Perhaps if she did have a child, a son, things would have worked out. But for now, my subjects, I do say goodbye, and I shall see you all later.